Welcome to The Resilient Realtor, where we gain insight, inspiration, and understanding of what makes a great real estate agent, interviewing agents of change. And now, the host of The Resilient Realtor, an award-winning veteran real estate agent and community leader, Kim Hayden.
Super amazing guy we have here today with the Resilient Realtor, and we're always looking for people who are agents of change, and we really take that literally on this podcast, where we look for agents, real estate agents who are the ambassadors of their community and their lives and are creating change just by doing what they do. So I'd like to huge shout out here to Gary Semeniuk, and he's going to share with us who he is, what he does, and how he lives his life to the greatest. So welcome, Gary.
Hey, it's good to be here, Kim. So a little bit of thank you firstly for having me on. Really appreciate it. You mean a lot to us in terms of friend and leadership in our business. So a little bit about me. I am Gary Semeniuk. I am a father, have a great wife, been married 27 years, and we have two kids, 19 and 17. And I also lead a team in real estate. So we're a team of 5 in total. And we've been in the business since 2012, and within short order became award-winning realtors. Much like yourself, we've been recognized by the community, so municipally by our governments, and provincially, as well as private sectors as well.
Amazing. And when you say your team, a lot of that's your family, isn't it?
Yeah, so we are a family unit. My wife Gina has been with me since 2016 full time. And then my son came on with us in 2019 when he graduated high school. So he handles the majority of our marketing as well as our B-tours, photography, everything. He's very, very well gifted and rounded and trained in photography and studio animation as well. So he knows what he's doing.
Amazing. So tell me, why real estate? Because real estate, as we all know, is not a job. It's not even a career. It's literally a lifestyle. So why real estate?
Yeah, for us, it stems from a long line of, I came from being a custom home builder renovator. And throughout my career, when I was doing that, we were often buying, selling, renting, flipping. And the one weak point we always had was we never really had really good representation from realtors. So as I moved out of my career, when there was the U.S. correction in 2008-9, I decided it was a good time because we were kind of having our own life correction to switch to real estate. So I decided to get my license, and pretty quickly, we set up to be something better, something different than what we had been seeing or been given. So we got in with a real conscious effort, my wife and I, to get our licenses and just do it better than what we'd ever received. So over the years, in doing what we've been doing, we've always executed high-level customer service, really important to us. And then moving in through the technology fields, I've always been a bit of a tech bug. So real estate being what it is, it tends to lend itself well to the technology side of things. So, over the course of the years, we've been able to use social media and leverage that to a very high degree. And then, it's all customer service systems. We're very systems orientated in our business. And then the rest is passion, right? We get up every day. Our goal is to really make a difference. It's often said we wake up unemployed in this industry every day. It's our job to find a client to be employed by the end of the day. And that's the way we approach every day in real estate.
That is a good way to look at it. Every day, create your job, create the opportunity. Absolutely. So when you look at
it, that's just something that we've never known better.
Absolutely. So looking at, everybody has kind of what we'd look at as an advantage. Each person brings something unique to the table. With you guys as a family unit and with your home building background and everything, and knowing how to operate technology, where is your advantage in all of this? What sets you guys apart?
I think a number of things. When I look at us as a family unit and our personalities, we're very Um, we're very community centric in our lives. You know, it means a lot to us to tithe back personally into the community through our faith. And that just spills into our business. And, you know, as you know, with knowing us, we're involved in a lot of community events that we've started that really rally the community around us. And it's been very good for us. It leads to a healthy, fun attitude for ourselves, which makes us different. You know, when we came into the community doing that, nobody was doing it. It was very old school print media. Everybody just kind of did things the way they did, had a database. We changed that. And to our credit, the majority of a lot of the higher producing realtors here have also started to foray into the same path, which is good because it just connects the communities and our clients at a deeper level. I think the other thing that really gives us an advantage is, again, you know, we've always been tech minded in what we do. So I'm always looking at the most leading edge stuff. So, you know, we vet it out, you know, through years of practice in this, what's good, what's bad, and we adopt really good habits and systems. And that's really been a saving grace to our business, you know, especially now that we're in COVID-19, you know, whether COVID's over sooner or later, the industry is now shifted, right? Everything we were doing prior to COVID was not really embraced by the public. You know, everybody was just used to the way life was. Now we've all been forced to basically go into this realm where we can't be in the same room together, but we can be virtually. So for us, we were already there in our business, and it's just made it really that much better. You know, now the public's adopting it, and it makes our business that much more functional, trackable. You know, it's just a better way to go as far as I'm concerned from an accountability standpoint to our clients and frankly to ourselves.
What are the 3 programs or apps as a real estate agent that you say that is a must-have to put yourself on the path of success?
You know, starting from lowest to highest in cost, I think the most economical and probably most powerful is Google. You know, we have been using it for years, but as a systems-based app, you know, we've adopted G Suite, which allows us as a team, and you know, for people like yourselves, anybody that we're connected to, we have a lot of pliability in how deep that app is, or you know, platform. So we use it, particularly G Suite, for all of our management, calendar management, you know, just everything we need to do to basically keep clients in hand and, you know, under wraps. We have all of our files within Google, and then we, you know, in G Drive, and then basically we can be digital, right? It just keeps us paperless. Being York Region Eco Team, that's something that we get questioned a lot about. So we've made it our habit to be as digital as possible in this world. And it's becoming easier with platforms like Google. You know, I think another app that we use quite a lot for our management is our Calendly app. So in my signature line, or anytime anybody wants to have an appointment, it is a pay-in system, but what I love about it is the choice is up to you. I can protect all my off-limits time. So if we have you know, our regular days where we have team huddles and we do our 9 to 12 lead gen, that's all blocked off. The public can't see that. So basically any time from 1 o'clock on to 9 o'clock in the evening, that's all open calendar for them to choose what they want, and it stops the whole back and forth. I think the third, for me, most important that's changed our business is in 2017, we had a pretty heavy correction here in Ontario. And then also everything was overpriced, not moving. The market just dried up really quickly here. So for us, we had to shift into buyer mode really quickly and get into a balanced system. So we took on a system called Sync, or Commissions Inc. It is a lead gen platform. So it is all pay-per-click, and you are using entities such as Facebook and Google to, you know, promote your business, promote what you do. So we do have a online platform with Sync, and it's just more than strictly doing lead gen management. It is our CRM. It is everything. It has got so much AI and different capabilities built into it that allows us to be very leading edge in what we do in our business. It is just an awesome tool. The only thing is, in terms of cost, it can be substantial. So you need to be making a commitment. And we've never looked back. It changed our business and put us on a different trajectory.
So that's, I think the key is consistency and giving it time. Because a lot of people will do something like 3 times and they go, oh, it's not working. And so they just stop. So yeah, that absolutely. So when you're looking at implementing the consistency, so you are following up, because I mean, CRMs are great, all these things are awesome, but if you aren't utilizing them, right, then they're only as good as the operator or the user, right? So when we look at this, coaches, there's a lot of coaches out there, there's a lot that's going on. Who do you look for at for leadership? Like, where are you going for your coaching?
So we've had a number of coaches over the years. I mean, as you know, we came from KW over to EXP. So at one time I was in MAPS coaching, and we've also had 2 private equity coaches that we took on. And what I found lacked in all of them, and even MAPS coaching, you know, it was great, but it didn't have systems behind it. It was more lifestyle leadership coaching built around real estate. So last year we took on a new company called Workman Success Systems. And, you know, what I love about them is they put you in front of a coach. They really deep dive into your lifestyle and what you were like in business and out of business. And they have a 2-part system to it. They want to build your business first and then focus on your wealth, so that you're not just working all the time, you're looking at multiple layers of income, right? They're very
Yeah.
focused on that. So the other side of it is it's very systems based. You know, as a team, particularly, it is really important to know what your team is up to on a daily basis. So they have a huge training module behind that that really helps support us and lead us, so we don't have to think about how we're building the wheel. And with that, we also have a reporting mechanism. So every day, each one of us on the team has to report in what we've done for the day before. So there is a diarization of it, and there's a points system around it. And you know, you need to be moving through that modality. And then when we have our coaching calls, it is focused on what's going on, what's not, why aren't you doing this? Oh, that's great, you did that. So it just allows us to have a really good layer of growth. And the other side of it is they also have a system where you can go in and build agile. So say like you're going to build a podcast. What does it take to build a podcast? You go through an A to Z list, you set priority numbers to it and timelines, and away you go. And they can see what you're doing, right, or not doing. So if you're not doing it, they're going to be putting some fire under you know what.
How important do you think it is to, I mean, I guess people go, oh, I'm good enough, or I'm already there. Like, where do you stop, or do you stop? Like, tell me your thoughts on coaching.
That's a really good question and a complicated one. You know, the usual answer when it comes to coaching is I can't afford it. And, you know, I've always been of the mindset, whether you can afford it or not, if you know your now and it's predictable and it's not what you want, you don't know how to get where you're going, you don't have a lot of time in hand, right, to make mistakes. The more time you waste and the more mistakes you make, the more it's going to cost you in the end. So I've always been find the money and the resource one way or another and vet out the people you're going to hire. Make them accountable. It's not just them giving you something you think you need. You need to make sure they're accountable. And if they're not, fire them, get somebody better. So I think for us, you know, we've always been focused on goals, business plans. So we're always making sure we're setting those timelines. And then our growth is, you know, I don't know what I don't know, and I don't have a lot of time to mess around here. I'm already middle-aged, and whether you're young or old, it really shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
You should always be incentivized to grow, right? Time is precious. We don't know if we're going to wake up tomorrow. So for me, I'm always focused on how do I become better? I mean, one of my big weaknesses, I've been self-employed since I was 19, so I'm pretty, I don't want to say spoiled, but I definitely, you know, have my ways about me. So the coaching, you know, what I lack is certain disciplines, and the coaching certainly sets that straight because they tested me to know exactly what my weaknesses are. And we can just focus on pushing me through those, right? Whether it be fear, pride, ego.
I've been self-employed for basically my entire adult life, and I'm pretty much completely unemployable at this point in time. So I got to do the best with what I got, right? You know, you got to push yourself. So when you're feeding your soul, like what is the one book that you think every real estate agent should read?
So, really simple for me. Um, Think and Grow Rich, but it's a book that you need to read past the words. You really need to dissect what they're saying in that book and read through it more than once, right? The first time you're not going to absorb it. 4 or 5 times in, there's always messages and modalities. And I finally got it when, over years of not quite understanding what the message was, when you read past the words and start to take up the meaning behind it, life becomes simpler and more predictable. I think the other one, and I just can't remember the the author, but it's called The Traveler's Gift. And that book there is quite a good read because it talks about a gentleman who, through his travels of his life, he was down and out in his luck, and it was the world's fault. His life stunk, and everybody else's was great. It was a box of roses or chocolates. And through his travels, he went back and forward in time into different people who were leaders that we all know. And he got to talk to those people in his time travel, and they all made him realize that actually his life was a gift, right? So vis-a-vis the traveler's gift. And when he came back from that, he realized, you know what, life is an opportunity every minute. It's what I make of it. It's not what I say it's doing for me or challenging me. It's just every moment is an opportunity as long as I see it as that.
I haven't read that one. I am definitely going to, because I love that whole, the great voices, right? That's amazing.
It's
So
not even a big read. I mean, I'm a slow reader, and I read it in 5 hours. So,
awesome. Then I should be able to get it in 6.
right?
Yep. No.
We're good.
I can be a slow reader at times myself. So when you look at real estate, we all know anybody who's in real estate, they find out quickly that it's not a job. It's not even a career. It is a lifestyle. It's something that you become. You become the I love the quote somebody else used, the ambassador of your community. You become the mayor of your town. You if you're doing it right, you become the person they all come to. Knowing that, um, how do you unwind? What do you do to take back time for Gary, or take back time for Gary and Gina? Aside, how do you do that? What is your guilty,
So,
what is your guilty pleasure out there?
good question. And it's multi-layered. So our long play for the next 2, 3 years is to work my way out of production. So that is, one of those gifts to myself. That'll be my guilty pleasure. I think the short term on a year to year is that we're very work orientated. My wife and I, we are workaholics. However, we do know our limits through failures over the years. So I know when I've gotten to a point that I'm not productive or focused, or I'm just finally going, you know what, every day I'm angry at what I'm doing. So when that happens, we make sure that we always take time off, and we always make our holidays adventurous. So for me, if I stay home, I'm just going to keep working. So we have to go out the door and get away from what we know as familiar territory, being our home or our town. So right now under COVID, it's a little more difficult to get across the border. That's our first passion, is to be in the southern blue waters, sand. That's my passion. So that's where we go first. Typically every winter we take a month's holiday right around Christmas, take the kids. Business still runs here, but we can do it remotely because our business is set up that way. So if I have to chime in, I can. Otherwise, we go down for that month. It's all about enjoyment. Anything anybody wants, it's yours, short of buying a Rolls Royce. We can't afford that yet, but go out, enjoy yourselves, buy clothes, have meals, do whatever you want to do, just enjoy. And we do a lot of on-water activities. We're very water-orientated people. So we typically rent a boat when we're down there, or we're on cruises, different things, and just enjoy, right? Kick back, take in the sun. You know, here where we are in Ontario, we have a lot more gray days than sunny days. That, you know, as we all know, living in Canada, the weather can be pretty volatile. 3 weeks ago here it was snowing, right? Now it's 85. So you just never know what you're going to get here in Canada. So, you know, we find by the end of the year, we're really welcoming of the fact that we can go away. And then under COVID right now, we tend to look at renting, you know, cottages or friends that have properties on the water in the northern communities, and away we go. We're doing that in July. We're going away for 10 days.
I'm a water person too. I dream about, I like you know, the music, Margaritaville music or Jimmy Buffett music, and you know, just
Right?
yeah, just I totally get
I'm the
that.
same.
So
Music's my jam too.
oh yeah, well, and you're into the vintage cars. Like we are in so many. Like I think that we could spend probably 3 days, you, Gina, Doug, and I, and do all the same things and all enjoy it because we have so many similar tastes. It's crazy. Um, Tell me a little bit real quick before we move into the. I want to know a little bit more about your market and your eco team. You have a really great tagline on your so your branding, and I really want to quickly talk to you about branding because I really like your branding and your tagline. Can you tell us what your tagline is and why?
Well, numerous ones, but the primary is innovating real estate for our environment. So we are innovators. You know, that's not a braggadocious statement. I've always been on the front edge of, you know, doing what we do. I explore technology so we can make it better for ourselves and our clients, right? I always say at the end of the day, I'm a pretty lazy person, so I want the most convenient ways to do business best. And so I don't have to do so much hands-on labor. I was a laborer for the majority of my life, so I always found good ways to leverage it, and technology is a great way. And then innovating for our environment. I mean, we're in a paper business. You know, you can hear trees falling as we're generating contracts. So, you know, we've taken our business really early on into a point of, you know, digital wet print signatures, everything, right? And complete digital management, online resource. So we really don't need to generate paper in our business model unless we're dealing with a client who, you know, just physically can't do the digital side, or they're older and don't have email, et cetera, or they just don't like the whole digital medium. So for us, that's been, you know, how our tagline came about. I've always studied marketing quite heavily, so I've gotten good and immersed in it over the years, and we use it, you know, as best we can to make really good, solid statements.
Absolutely. And when you make a statement, you know, fewer words with bigger impact.
Right?
Absolutely. Um, so when we look at, everybody gets advice or gives advice when entering a new career or moving through life. What is some advice that you have gotten along the way that you really felt like made an impact in your life?
So I wrote down some points, and I'd like to read those because if I fly off the hip of my pants, I'll be all over the place. So if that's okay with you, I'd really like to
Absolutely.
read. So a few things for emerging agents. Basically, here's what I wrote. So leave your ego at the door, right? Don't come in thinking you're better than everybody else. Face your fears and get them behind you as quickly as possible, right? For me, I spent far too long convincing myself or letting this mind inside talk me out of doing things. So I would say face your fears and eat them up. Get a great mentor. And I'm not talking to somebody at the same level as you, right? It's got to be somebody that's either older or more successful than you, because otherwise you're teaching each other the same things. Um, I think, you know, the other thing is building systems. You know, get systemized ASAP, because without it, you're never going to be guided or know where you're going, right? Systems will guide us and hold us accountable. So that's something that we have big time always done in our business. Be confident. You know, I wasn't confident when I got into this business. I did pretty well pretty quickly, but if I would have been the way I am now, then I'd be probably not selling real estate at this point. I'd be on to the other parts of my real estate career. So, you know, just always be confident. Go for every opportunity. Join a team if you're not a self-starter. For me, as you said right in the beginning, I'm not employable. So I just know for me to be on a team, I have too much to say, right? From a standpoint of leadership, which is always going to create friction with a leader. So if you're not that person, I would always say start a team and then prove to them that you're there for the opportunity to take the team over one day. Let them get out of the business and you take it over. And it's a win-win for everybody. And that's the way we're looking at our business, is as I move out of production on a day-to-day, I can guide those that are below me, for lack of better words, or beside me, that they can have an opportunity without the risk. And I also have an opportunity without the risk, because I can still receive a check or a percentage, and they have an opportunity to not have to go through the pains of building it on their own. I think the most important thing in ending that is prospect 5 days a week. If you're not, your business is always going to be like this. It's going to be a roller coaster. If you're not putting in your 3 to 4 hours a day, you need to be, and do it 5 days a week. I mean, Jennifer Jones, a good friend of mine, and our attitude is we're in the only industry where they actually train you. It's okay to lead gen 2 or 3 hours a day and forget about the rest. It'll take care of itself. There's no other career that you basically have that right to do that. If you're working for any company, corporation, a doctor, a lawyer, you're putting 8 to 14 hours a day in. So we need to be doing that here too.
And that's for a lot of real estate agents. People go into real estate because they love open houses and they love pretty houses and they love the clients, and the industry, that's not the industry today. That's the industry today. That's only that's probably even less than half of it now.
Yeah.
That whole eat the frog first,
Yeah.
You're already at no before you even pick up the phone. So go ahead and pick up the phone, because you could be at yes. So yeah, that's absolutely. I myself, we all have quotes that resonate within ourselves, things that we've come across. And to this day, I remember a quote that my mother said to me, and it's funny because she doesn't remember it, but I remember it, as Kimberly Joe, poverty is a state of mind, not a state of economics. And that's from when I was a teenager, and there was 5 of us living in a basement of my grandparents' house. It was like 700 square feet, and all female with 1 bathroom, very small bathroom. So we all survived. So what is and why? What is the quote that just always resonates with you, and why?
So I'll start with the why. I was in California back in the early 2000s doing some personal growth work. So investing in myself first, right, to overcome issues that I had in my mind. And so we were in this one meeting room, and they had all these different sayings throughout the room on all the walls. And they basically said, okay, everybody in the room, one of these meetings will have some sort of meaning to you, and you're going to own it. And I walked around the room and I found mine. So for me, it is knock down 7 times, stand up 8, right? So every time you fail, get up, right? Dust yourself off and get going. So it's always been that for me, knock down 7 times, get up 8. No matter what happens, don't give up, right? Just keep going. And that's the way I've lived my life.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Gary, I can't thank you enough for sharing your time, because I know you're super busy. And next time we'll get Gina in here and we'll see what she's got to say. We'll double check. We'll do the Hollywood, what is that? The Newlywed Show. So we're going to.
Hollywood Squares.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And we'll be sure to, send everybody your way out in Toronto. Everybody remember the York Region Eco Team, and Gary and Gina and their team's going to be an amazing help out there. And until we get to the beaches, enjoy the beaches that you do have,
Right.
I can't wait to get out there and just visit with you guys.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you, Kim and Doug.
Awesome. All right, Gary, thank you so much again for joining us here at the Resilient Realtor.
You're well, blessings.
Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, be an agent of change.